Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for joining Women's Health Tech Wednesdays. I am Kat Marriott. I'm Senior Research Scientist at HitLab, and I sincerely appreciate everyone joining. Just a few quick announcements. I want to remind everyone that in December, HitLab is hosting our Innovation Summit. And you can find out all of the information right here on the screen. Scan the QR code or to go to the website and find out more. Sign up and join us for that. And also next week, May 30th, we will be hosting our May Digital Health Symposium. And so again, please join us. That's a virtual symposium. We would love to have you join us for our May symposium. And that is going to be a review of the women or the health tech for the month of May. Excuse me. So thank you. I'd like to welcome our guest for this installment of our Women's Health Tech Wednesday, Dr. Olivia Geneus. She is the Associate Director of Medical Affairs and Neuroscience for the U.S. and globally at Eli Lilly. Olivia, thank you and welcome.
Thank you so much for having me. Excited to be here.
Wonderful. Olivia, why don't you spend the first minute or so telling us just a little bit about yourself, what you do at Eli Lilly, and kind of how you got here.
Yes, absolutely. As stated, I am currently the Associate Director for the U.S. and Global Medical Affairs within their Neuroscience business unit. How I got there is a pretty unorthodox, I guess, journey, I would say. For undergrad, I received my bachelor's from the University of Massachusetts Amherst. There, I did a double major in physics and public health. I then went on to complete my PhD in chemistry from University at Buffalo, where my research really focused on using nanotechnology and nanomedicine to develop multimodal theranostic agent for therapeutic cancers. Specifically, my disease target was glioblastoma. With my research, I was able to really immerse myself in different fields. So cancer research, neuroscience, nanotechnology, nanomedicine, biology, and chemistry. So all of those really helped increase my knowledge to get me to where I am today.
Wonderful, wonderful. And if you could tell me just a little bit about what was your inspiration for getting into this field?
Yes, different inspiration. First, I am grateful to have come from an environment that focused in science. My family, they are also scientists. So I grew up in the healthcare field, public health field, and also scientific specified field in my home. And so at a young age, I really knew that I was interested in and intrigued by physics and public health. I didn't really know what that combination would look like. So that's why I chose those two majors in college. And then in my junior year of college, I took an organic chemistry class and I enjoyed it. I really loved it, which is not, I know, which is not, usually heard of, but I genuinely did. And that's when I thought, you know what, let me see what else is out there in the chemistry world. So I decided to go to a graduate chemistry program. And that's really when I was introduced to the field of nanomedicine. The lab that I joined was a physical chemistry focused lab, and we created a lot of nanotechnology for a different disease target. And that's where the combination of cancer, neuroscience, nanotechnology, and other chemistry fields really piqued my interest. So I knew that I wanted to continue in the either oncology therapeutic area or neuroscience therapeutic area, or a combination of both. So I'm excited that I'm able to keep up with the neuroscience aspect of it.
Well, that's wonderful. And like you, I grew up in a home where science and health was very much encouraged, but and also knew I wanted to do something, wasn't sure what. But unlike you, I did not enjoy organic chemistry. I had to take it twice, but nonetheless, I prevailed, and I more power to you. That's for sure. So, one of the things that we like to talk about, especially in the Women's Health Tech Wednesdays, is how we integrate and how we work in, as a woman, uh, work-life balance, or how we integrate what we do, who we are personally, as well as what we do professionally. So, do you have any thoughts, or anything that you can share with our audience about? I know it's demanding. It's a very demanding world out there. We all of us women gotta help each other out. So, any words of wisdom or thoughts?
That's a great question. And I'm still learning to have that balance between both sides, the professional and personal life. But one rule that I do have for myself is to give myself grace. And that really keeps me accountable when it comes to my self-care routine. I am a fitness enthusiast, so going to the gym is really where I can clear my mind, and I don't have different tabs open in my brain. And I do take time to really spend with my family, my friends. I try to really be intentional about creating time for myself outside of work, outside of all of the demands. And I've learned from personal experience that I have my best epiphanies when I take a step back from a problem. And that really gives me time to come up with a game plan, or to clear my mind and find a strategic way to solve it.
That is excellent advice. I have found personally that for whatever reason, I come up with and I think about things when I'm in the shower. So I keep because it's mindless, if you will. You're not thinking about anything else except taking a shower. And then sometimes when I get out, I'm like, oh, I got to write that down. Otherwise, I will forget it later. So that is excellent advice. So all of the women that we host on these women on the Health Tech Wednesdays are such successful and amazing women, but we all define our success a little bit differently. And I'd love to hear a little bit about how you define success, both personally and professionally.
Absolutely. So success is entirely subjective, firstly. And to me, success is not just a destination, but a specific direction. So professionally, I really strive to hone in my skill development that contribute to enhancing my job performance or professional growth. I'm always willing to learn and happy to learn, different subjects, different theories always catch my attention and intrigue me, and continuous focus on career advancement, practicing a growth mindset, impact, and contribution through increased responsibilities and recognition with my organization also helps. And personally, I know I'm successful when I can continue to focus on my happiness and fulfillment. So that goes back to that work-life balance as well. And where I have a great balance and I'm still building and maintaining healthy relationship with my family, my friends, my coworkers. But most importantly, I'm successful when I pour into myself and my personal growth, where I seek self-improvement to be the best version that I can.
That's wonderful. That is wonderful to hear. And it sounds like kind of along that same lines, support system is something important to have. So you have what kind of support systems aside from your family, which you just mentioned? What kind of support systems do you find yourself seeking?
Absolutely. So when I was in the academic space, my support system were my committee members. They have been there since the first day I arrived in grad school until I graduated and defended my dissertation. They really understood who I was as a student, as an individual, and who I wanted to be as a professional. And they were very empathetic and understanding. When it comes to mentors and support system, you want someone that's human, is what I say. You want someone that's human, that really understands, your lows, your highs, but does not let the lows impact who you are. They already know who you are, and we all have days where we're better than others. And so that was really important for me as I was finishing my research, to have that type of circle that I knew and I had no doubt had my back, and knew they wanted to see me succeed. And now, as a young professional, I'm also grateful to be surrounded and to work with powerful women. My team is made up of more, the women in my team overpower the men. And it's great to see that representation where, my supervisor is a woman and her boss is a woman and her boss is a woman. That's just an amazing thing to see as you aspire to climb up the ladder, to get there. You can see yourself there and these women. Yeah.
That is so, so important. I'm just going to add a tiny little thing about me personally. When I was in grad school, I didn't see a lot of women in the positions that were mentoring or emulating what I wanted to become. So it was more difficult for me to to use that as a positive influence. So it is very, very important to surround yourself and to at least have one or two mentors that you really can turn to. So I definitely agree with that 100%. So it sounds like you've got a lot around you, both personally and professionally, that really motivates you. So anything in particular these days or right now that is really motivating you?
So professionally, all my career aspirations can be simplified to, once I know what my DMP is, and definite major purposes. So I am driven by motivation. I am driven by innovation, new theories, new ideas. Those are my motivation, and of course, as a problem solver, I keep up with the news and see what progress we make in terms of technology advancement, in terms of treatment advancement. And that is a motivation. Like, okay, how can we think better about this? How can we solve this problem? That's what really pushes me professionally, and even in my personal life as well, trying to solve something, trying to make the world around my loved ones, around the people who are around me, much better or much easier to navigate. So yeah, that's my motivation.
That's excellent. And you mentioned in there innovation and advancements in technology. Can you share any thoughts on what you think are those next kind of nuggets or areas of innovation that you're really looking to find, especially in the work that you're doing in neuroscience or cancer, whatever? Any little nuggets of innovation that you're looking out for?
Absolutely. I follow all of it because it's very interesting to me. But especially with the field of neuroscience, it's such a big field. And it will continue to evolve. If you think about where we were 10, 20 years ago and where we are now, we have so many cutting edge technologies, including nanotechnology and nanomedicine, where we use that technology to help with drug carriers or treatment carriers to help cross the blood-brain barrier, because that was the point where we didn't know what to do, where we had trouble crossing that blood-brain barrier to really get that treatment within the brain. We now have AI and machine learning that is increasingly being integrated and making great waves in neuroscience. But also there's the advancement of genomics, where researchers are now able to explore more on the genetic basis in order to target those neurological disorders, and even an increase in focus and the better understanding of mental health in general is much more improved now than it was before. So I can't wait and look forward to more advancement and more integration, especially as we continue to create medicine for neuroscience for focused targets.
And we will definitely look forward to both Eli Lilly and yourself being on that cutting edge and incorporating some of these new technologies, new innovations into medicine. That's very, very exciting. So one of the other things that I wanted to touch on again is going back just a little bit to about mentoring and how important that is, especially for women, I think, in healthcare and technology. And how can you give us a little bit of your thoughts on either how mentoring has been important to you, or how you see it going forward in your career?
Absolutely. I've had the pleasure and great opportunity to mentor several students, a majority from underrepresented groups and backgrounds, and they each individually have impacted me differently in positive ways. But overall, what I've learned from them and the impact they've had on me was they kept me grounded.
Mhm.
They kept me very grounded and kept things in perspective for me. And what I mean by this is mentors, even those with years of experience mentoring younger generations or even newcomers, they often seem disconnected from their own beginnings. So they may forget, the realities of transitioning, whether it's from different stages of life, from academic to industry, whatever that transition is, they seem to be very far removed, which is understandable, because you're 20, 40 years into your career, there will be a disconnect whether or not you want there to be. So my mentees keep me grounded, and it really helps for me to never really forget the reality of my own journey and the reality of where I started. And these are lessons and mistakes that I want to make sure I remember in order to pass it to them and be a better mentor and be a realistic mentor and an honest mentor as well to help guide them.
So you mentioned that there at Eli Lilly, you are surrounded by some other strong women in leadership positions. So does Eli Lilly, do you have a strong, I want to say, a culture of mentorship amongst the ranks and the individuals that work there?
Absolutely. Absolutely. First of all, I can say that my entire team, as we work collectively, we're each other's mentors as well, especially being a young professional and these women have done an amazing job creating a long career journey for themselves. I learn every day from them, and also seeing, where the ladder leads. I've learned a lot. I'm always continuing my professional development with their help, and seeing where else can this role take me. What else is there? I'm thinking 5 years in the future. Where do I see myself at the company, and where am I going to make a difference and an impact?
Wonderful. I am wondering about how you see diversity, equity, and inclusion, not only at Eli Lilly. I am very encouraged by the expansion or the growth of more women like yourself, especially in technology, which there's been so many times when I've been so discouraged, not only by the lack of women, but about the lack of diversity. And how do you see that? And how do you see yourself fitting in with, in terms of diversity and equity at Eli Lilly and in general in the healthcare and technology setting?
Absolutely. So to me personally, diversity, inclusion, and equity are all very important components that contribute to any thriving environment or society. So if we break all three down, diversity is, the presence of differences within a society as it pertains to people. It means having a variety of individuals from different backgrounds, culture, race, age, abilities. And the more we embrace diversity, the more we value and respect these differences and how these differences contribute to richness and collaboration and problem solving within our workplace or within our community. And being inclusive really leverages the benefits of diversity. And for equity, it's really recognizing that different people have different needs and resources, and there isn't a one size fit all answer. And so really addressing the systemic inequalities to ensure a fair playing field for everyone is really important. And all three of them create a framework where everyone can thrive and contribute to the greater good of an environment or a setting. I don't think we can, if we're looking into technology evolution, advancement of drug treatments, and advancement of our health system, we can't leave out diversity, inclusion, and equity. They go hand in hand. We can't pick and choose which one is more important. We have to have them both in order to see evolution in 10 plus years, even for next year, specifically within our sciences.
I'm a firm believer that we, in general, as humans, tend to be interested in and want to see improvements in the things and the people that we see around us. And the more diversity that we have around us, then the more questions, especially as scientists, that we will ask one another. And that means that we are including more people in this innovation. I'm a firm believer that, that advancements in women's health had really took off when we got more women into these fields, because it wasn't just the same people thinking about, oh, well, what else do we need to do? What else should we be working on? So I'm glad and hopeful that that Eli Lilly is contributing to that culture, that inclusion of more people, more types of people, and glad to see that in you. And yeah, that's that's it.
I agree.
So I tend to find inspiration from a lot of areas. Personally, recently it's my family, my children that inspire me the most recently, and I'm wondering where you are finding your inspiration coming from most recently.
Most recently, um, it's continuous learning for me. Whether it's, learning about the scientific field and how it's evolving, or just listening to others in terms of what they're doing in their role, what they're doing to make an impact, what they're contributing. That's really a source of inspiration and creativity for me. And also surrounding myself with creative people through networking, whether it's internally or externally, to really get fresh insights and ideas. And embracing new challenges is also essential. I love stepping out of my comfort zone and taking risks and taking on projects that really pushes my boundaries. And though it can be challenging at times, but it really stimulates creativity and personal growth for me. And making an impact, the more I can make a positive difference in my work environment and the more fulfilling the work becomes, the more I get inspired and driven to continue to make that impact.
Excellent. Well, Olivia, thank you so much for joining us on Women's Health Tech Wednesdays. We sincerely appreciate your contributions, not only to the area and technology and giving us these wonderful little nuggets of inspiration. Thank you very much. And to those of you out there that have joined us today, thank you. And please join us next Wednesday for the next chat for our Women's Health Tech Wednesdays. And I definitely want to thank our sponsors and join in. And remember that you can also go back and see all of the other Women's Health Tech Wednesday chats that if you've missed in the past, you can always find them online on our website. And thank you again. Thank you for joining us for your lunch hour or whatever break it is that you're taking with us today. And have a great rest of the day.